Good afternoon, student leaders. Good afternoon, finance officers, and welcome to another edition of Meet the Fam. Right now, this is Meet the Fam Finance, charting the student activities together. Good afternoon. Ako po ulit ay Senior Reyes, no, from the Office of Student Activities, one of the OSA formators as your host for this afternoon. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Alam ko medyo maulan, no? Well, at least dito sa kung nasaan ako ngayon. And a special shout out, good evening or good morning para sa mga manonood sa atin via the replay sa ating OSA YouTube channel. You can always check out the replays of our Meet the Fam episodes on the OSA YouTube channel. Just go to bit.ly/Ateneo OSA YT, all small letters. Para sa mga hindi nakapanood ng episode 1 ng Meet the Fam, our previous episode, maaari ninyong balikan ang episode na yon sa ating YouTube channel. But for this episode, we will be focusing on finances. Alam namin, during the first episode of Meet the Fam, maraming mga hindi nasagot na katanungan, especially regarding finances. Ano na nga ba mangyayari sa finance procedures now that we are in our community quarantine? Ngayon, general community quarantine tayo, pero ngayon hindi tayo pwedeng pumunta for face-to-face transactions sa university. Paano na nga ba ang mangyayari sa atin? And we will get to presentation in a little while. Pero bago natin simulan ng lahat, I'd just like to introduce kung sino-sino ang mga nandito ngayon. Of course, we have with us the entire OSA fam. Well, not the entire pala, no? Karamihan ng OSA fam nandito. Sino-sino nga bang mga nandito from the Office of Student Activities? Ayan, of course, we have our director, Sir Tats, who we'll be hearing from in a little while. Of course, Sir Nino is also here. And of course, syempre, when we're talking about finance, we can't talk about it without Ma'am Julie Manalang, who will be speaking in a little while then. All right. At behind the scenes, no, nandito rin ang iba't iba pang mga kasama sa ating OSA fam. And we also have our special guests for this afternoon. Katulad ng mga naging guests natin the previous episode, we still have representatives from the Sanggunian and from COA-M. So for the Sanggunian, we have the Sanggunian President, Mr. J.B. Behari.
Hello po. Hello everyone who's watching.
Ayan. And from COA-M, we have their finance officer, Mr. Nixon Ko.
Hello.
Hi, Nixon.
Hello.
And we have the assistant to the Associate Dean for Student Formation, we have Mr. JC Capuno.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Sir JC. Good afternoon. And speaking of finance, syempre, ang kilala ng lahat, our representative from the Central Accounting Office, we have Miss Tina Kabutsan with us this afternoon.
Annyeong.
Hi, Ma'am Tina.
Annyeong.
Ayan. Diba? Of course, the Korean, Ma'am Tina. Ayan. So, mamaya, nandyan ang ating panelists mamaya para sagutin ang mga katanungan na meron kayo. Of course, just like our first episode, you can already note down your questions on the comment section below. Kung meron na kayong mga tanong na naiisip, kung meron na kayong gustong klaruhin while we are presenting, kung ano nga ba mangyayari sa finance ngayong lockdown period. But before we begin, to give us a few words to welcome everyone this afternoon, let me call on again the Director of the Office of Student Activities. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Tats Quiblat. Sir Tats.
Hi guys, good afternoon. Welcome to Meet the Fam Finance Edition. So if you've been here or if you were aware of the Meet the Fam Part 1, last week we talked to the heads of the student organizations Meet the Fam is our weekly online show for the student activities community. But before we begin with our finance chit chat this afternoon, let me just briefly welcome you and also present to you some uh, give you some ideas of how do we look like, what will student activities look like as we move forward and the university pivots toward an online delivery of education. First, maybe you've heard about the memo from the VPLS. No, Ateneo will not increase tuition, and with that, there will be a reduced collection of the student activities fee. If you don't know, student activities fee or the SAF is our main bread and butter for everything in student activities. That's also where your budget allocation comes from, and all the subsidies and the loans that we provide to the organizations, including other expenses that student activities may incur. And so that will be reduced. We don't know yet by how much. As soon as we have a figure on how much the student activities fee will be reduced to, we will let you know, and that will have also effects on how much we will be budgeting for this coming first semester. So, in terms of anticipated realities, we know for sure that intersession and the first semester will be fully online. It will not be a blended. We will not be allowed to be let in into the campus. It will be fully online, and you will be going to school wherever you are via our um, LMS, our learning management system, which is Canvas. So, given that, this will also translate into a big shift in our student activities community and student activities programming. That would mean we will not be allowed to be on campus. There will be no mass gatherings. There will be no the usual things that we do in org, standby in MVP, GAs, all those meetings, etc., etc. I think this requires a big part in terms of redesign, and I think this is where I want you guys to be challenged about how do we translate into an online delivery all the things that we used to know and do in our organization. So, but despite that, despite the lack of physical space and mass gatherings and being together, we hope that student activities will thrive, student activities will continue, we will see each other online. There have been a lot of online content creation already happening from our performance organizations. There are module trainings, elections, GAs happening online. And we will just have to adjust and go through the first semester. We can't even begin to talk about the second semester yet. Even the university is not there yet. We don't know what the second semester will look like. We don't know if we're going to be allowed by the government to gather together. Will our campuses open, etc.? We don't know. But for the first semester, we will have to redesign everything that we do in the organization online. And with this, to help us face the challenges of this pandemic, OSA will be instituting a few programs just to make sure that all of us will have a smoother way of adjusting online. First, we have the online OSA online portal, which we will launch soon, hopefully by July 1. The OSA online portal will be our online office. So even if we don't have the physical MVP office, you can go to the online OSA portal where you can submit project proposals, schedule an appointment with your formators, meet with Ma'am Julie and Miss Michelle or Mark. That's also where you can follow up on your documents, check out the trackers, read on blogs, etc. We will also have our shows there and our modular trainings. We'll have curated content also. So isipin nyo na lang that the OSA online portal is the OSA office in MVP that you go to every morning to get your keys, etc., or submit your proposals, etc. So that would mean everything will be online. Submission of all documents will be online. Later on, I think part of the discussion is that we will be asking you to email all official documents to OSA using your official OBF accounts for those na merong org OBF accounts. And for those orgs na wala pang OBF accounts, you can elect an OBF account of an officer that you can register with OSA as the official org email. So mamaya pag-usapan siguro natin sa Q&A, ano. But the online portal will be our virtual office. We will see you there. There will be people who will meet with you in real time. You can check out OSA portal soon. We are launching it soon. Also, OSA will shift into a lot of modular content. We will be dishing out training, seminars, the usual things that we've had, Ignacianidad, a summit, uh, all our meetings and GAs and forums, the fellowship with the parents, even Hinirang, they're all designed for an online delivery. That would mean we're trying to design, all our formators right now are enrolled in the ADL, the Adaptive Design Learning retooling for faculty and professionals, and they are redesigning all our programs for an online delivery. But amidst all of this, I think the challenge for us is to be really sensitive and responsive to the signs of the times. It might require a lot of sensitivity and thinking on our part. How do we redesign our activities? How do we allocate all our finances in deference to what's going on in the world? As we know, the world is suffering. People are trying to go at it day by day. There are a few people there are a few people who might have lost their jobs or are furloughed. People who are fighting the illness, etc. And it requires maybe a lot of redesigning on our part to be sensitive to what's going on and to be attentive to the signs of the times. And it needs a lot of redesigning and reconfiguring and recalibrating our organization goals, organization mission. Ultimately, the question is, how do we reimagine our mission, vision, values of our organization in the context of what's going on in the world today? The world is broken, the world is being tested, people are suffering, not only on the pandemic side, but even um, people are fighting for equality. People are fighting to be recognized by the color of their skin, and a lot of other things, representation, etc. And maybe this is a good time for us to reevaluate and recalibrate the way to proceed and how our orgs would like to proceed in these very trying times. And trust that we will be there with you all the time. We will answer your questions. We will try to be with you and hold your hand as we together navigate this very testing new reality. And together we will hopefully be able to respond to the challenges. Malaki ang tanong, mahirap, pero lagi naman nating inuulit na huwag nating tanungin kung mahirap, tanungin natin kung mahalaga. Dahil ang mahalaga, kahit mahirap, kinakaya. So maraming salamat. OSA will remain to be here and we will always be your partners information. So thank you for joining us this afternoon and I'll see you at the Q&A later. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, Sir Tats. And thank you for the assurance, di ba, na student activities will continue despite the uncertainties that we are facing right now. At andito nga lagi ang OSA, kaya nga nasabi ni Sir Tats, to be with our organizations and be with the student activities world. Pinapaalala natin that we are live on the ADMO Student Leaders 2020-2021 Facebook group, as well as the Finance Officers Facebook group. No? Para sa mga presidents natin, nagulat ba kayo na meron din sila sarili ng Facebook group? So, and again, we can be viewed or we can be watched on the OSA YouTube channel at bit.ly/Ateneo OSA YT. Now, let's get down to business to present to us kung ano nga ba ang mangyayari sa finances, sa org finances, ngayong tayo ay nasa online and digital world. Let us all welcome OSA's Officer for Budget and Finance Management. Please welcome Ms. Julie Manalang. I'm Julie.
Thank you, Neil. Hello, good afternoon, student leaders and finance officers for school year 2020 and 2021. Before I start my presentation, gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa previous finance officers. Iba yung panahon ngayon kasi hindi kami nakapag-goodbye face to face. Alam niyo yon, at the end of the year, nagiging close lahat ng mga officers sa amin because of many transactions that happened in a school year. So thank you, finance officers school year 1920. We had our revisions on the financial policies and procedures last May when we had our clearance processes for them. So now we are happy to inform you that we finally have an online OSA financial procedures for the period of intersession and first semester. So let's start our presentation. Okay. So, maraming finance officer na nakita ako na dating officer noong school year 1920, sila pa rin yung finance officer ngayong 2021. So, I am happy that you accepted the role again. So, for the new FOs, ito yung magiging processes natin ngayong online. Okay. Okay, just to give you an update on the budget allocations given by the Office of Student Activities. First of all, who are those groups that have budget allocations from the Ateneo? First of all is the Sanggunian units, the COA-M, the Central Board, and then the 56 accredited organizations. They are the ones that get budget allocation from the student activities fee. The next group is the publications group. They are the Gaidon, Heights, and Matanglawin. So for now, as mentioned by Sir Tats kanina, since we will postpone the collection of student activities fees this intersession and due to cancellation of off-campus activities and mass gatherings, so the budget allocation for the first semester will depend on the availability of the student activities fee. For the COP, yes, they can get funds because iba naman yung pinagkukunan ng budget nila. So we will announce soon on the budget requirements. For accredited orgs, the 15,000 budget allocation every year per semester. Before kasi we give 15,000 per sem during the first sem and the second sem. So a total of 30,000 budget allocation for accredited orgs. Now, it will depend on the availability of student activities fee collection in the first semester. Anyway, it will not affect your DCB accounts. You can access on DCB accounts this coming intersession and first semester. Okay, for subsidy and loans, subsidy is given to organizations to help or to support their formation programs. So because of our context now that off-campus is not allowed and mass gatherings are not allowed also, so the suspension of subsidy system and loans will be implemented this intersession. And during the first sem, again, will depend on SAF collection. For loans, suspended din siya sa intersession and suspended din sa first sem. For the existing loans, the org can request for deferment of payment. Just write a letter to OSA. Grants. What are these grants? These are the travel grant for student representative of Ateneo. Example, if you are representative of ADMU to a conference outside the Philippines or local conferences, we also give travel assistance for that from the last year. And then we also give adult supervisor grant for student activities. But now that we are online set up, we are temporarily suspending it for both intersession and first sem. Okay, org revolving fund. So for your information, the org revolving fund is given to all recognized student groups, meaning not only for COA, but the entire recognized student groups, including Sangguniang COP. Last year, we gave 10,000 each org named to the finance officer 10,000 org revolving fund or the petty cash on hand of the organization. Last May, when we had our turnover, we do not get back those funds. We ask permission from the accounting office that these funds be retained to your organization. So make sure that it has been transferred to you now. You as the new finance officer should have the access on this fund. So the org revolving fund is for the petty expenses of the organization. So pwede nyo na siyang paikutin ngayong taon. Use it as cash on hand for small expenses. Then yan yung perang pwede nyong ipaikot. We will replenish that using reimbursement form and then by submitting to us the ADC forms for bank transfer. So paano siya mangyayari? Now, please check first the funds right na nasa kamay nyo ngayon. Is it buo ba? 10,000 ba ang nasa inyo ngayon? If it's not buo, submit a reimbursement form with the receipts so that we can replenish the entire amount. And then you can use that starting intersession onwards or until December 9 to replenish the petty expenses of the organization. Okay. For processing of documents, our top priority is to process the remaining payables of organizations from school year 1920. Our basis for this will be the payables letter that you submitted to us in the Google Drive link and then the TOF letter. So with this, we are giving you extension to please make sure that all your expenses from previous year are included in that letters. So you have until June 30 to review all your transactions and then update the reports that you gave us. Make sure that the updated file are also signed by the 4 officers, the previous president and finance officer and then the new officer this school year. And then expenses for school year 2021, for us to process your requests, you must have an approved project proposal. That will be our basis for the period before intersession. So the intersession is on July 6 to August 12. So from now on to August 12, our basis for your expenses, to process your expenses, are the approved PPF. And then, during the start of the first semester, we will announce then if we will have a budget proposal. Next. Yun. For the first sem budget proposal, for now, we are fixing the documents first. We want to simplify the template, and then we will announce it to the group, all the details about it. The deadline is to follow. Consultations. For consultation, I am here. Just message me at this number or email me at this email address so I can answer all your inquiries. For this year, I will be the one in charge for the student orgs. Ma'am Tina will be my consultant, so all of your documents will be processed by me. Okay, these are the online resources where you can check our detailed guidelines. Our Facebook group will serve as my venue to give you announcements. Nag-impisa naman na ako, so nakita nyo na rin yung mga pinost ko previously na mga payables nyo for suppliers, mga unpaid transactions. So doon tayo magre-release ng information. For OSA requests follow-up, you can check bit.ly/OSA FindDoc Tracker. That's my log sheet. So you will check there everything that I process, including OSA documents. So please find na lang for your organization's name, and then you will have to check the status. In that tracker, you will see the flow of the documents from OSA until the final approval. And then as mentioned in this presentation, starting intersession, an online portal for OC request online form will be implemented. We will announce it na lang. Okay, let's go to the online finance procedures for student orgs. General guidelines. I posted the detailed steps in the FB group, but this is to reiterate the impact as I experience the actual submission of each organization. So take note, the addressee is to osa.ls@ateneo.edu, and then CC the org president and org moderator. Please make sure that they are always copy furnished in your email that you sent me. Kindly use your org OBF Ateneo account. I will not entertain using your own personal email. Why? Because I need to identify you as the official finance officer of the organization. So for this, please inform your president or presidents that are here. Please email your endorsement via the thread sent by your finance officer. Dapat doon yung endorsement. Ngayon kasi na-experience ko, separate pa nag-endorse si president. So na-flood masyado yung email ko ng mga maraming ibang email na dapat sa isa lang siya na thread. And then your org moderators are just CC'd in the email, but no need to endorse. Anyway, we will inform all org moderators about this. But for now, since online transactions tayo, so lahat ng financial transactions nyo naka-CC si org moderator. Don't forget to attach the needed documents for the first email. And then when I receive the complete endorsement, I'll check the documents if it's correct and complete. Next. Okay, let's talk about your maraming tanong ng paano po ba mag-deposit ng cash? Paano po ba mag-deposit ng sponsorship money? So here's the answer. Those are cash inflows of the organization. What are these cash inflows? These are the org revenues, donations to organization, sponsorships, either cash or check. These are the registration fees collected. These are the fundraising sales. Example, these are the sales from shirts. These are the sales from your food sales before. Some of you has a declaration that still have cash on hand right now. So now you can deposit it via this process. Please don't hold it na on your hand. I encourage you to deposit it all via this process. So these are the bank deposit by the Ateneo de Manila University. Bank account. Ito yung ating magsisilbing account kung saan kayo magde-deposit ng mga papasok na pera. What are the steps? Okay. First is you email, the finance officer will email the following persons. They are from the COW and the cashier's office. CC, me, your org president, and your org moderator. For cash inflows, we do not need the endorsement of your president. Just inform them by copy furnishing them in your email. Second, the COW officer will verify your deposit at the bank. After verifying the deposit, the COW officer will prompt the cashier to issue you an OR. Okay. In your email, you need to attach the deposit slip, the validated bank deposit slip, or the copy of the bank transfer, as well as the turnover of funds form. The turnover of funds form will serve as your documentation, or will prompt us kung saan namin i-address ang resibo. So make sure that the payee in the turnover of fund form is correct to avoid repetition of the process. Okay? Next, after COW prompt the cashier now will give you the soft copy of the receipt. And then now you can email that to the respective payee. If it's an org OR, please keep it for documentation. And lastly, step 5, hindi pa tayo nagtatapos sa soft copy lang. When we return into normal operations, please go to the cashier's office and get the original copy of OR for you to give that to your sponsors and for your org receipts for your documentation purposes. Next, please. Okay, so that's the cash inflows. Now let's go to disbursements. What is disbursement, or what are the forms of disbursements? There are 3 forms of disbursements. It is the order for a check, it is the reimbursement process, or it is via budget transfer. So let's discuss first the order for a check. Order for a check can be requested using two forms. First is the OC request form. Second is a formal letter to OSA. What are the transactions that are applicable for OC request form? These are the payment to suppliers and individuals. Ito yung mga regular supplier natin na nakapangalan. Example, St. Pio. Example is AMPC or TGS. Sila yung mga OC request form. What are the examples of OC request form na individual? For example, there is a company that do not have a bank account named to the company. So, pangalan siya sa owner. So, yun. Doon tayo papasok sa individual, sa owner name, pero supplier siya. For OC request naman, using formal letter to OSA, these are the transactions that involves giving out honorarium, cash prizes for students na winners, either outsider siya or taga Ateneo. These are the process for student allowances and then for donations. Okay. Next is the attachment for formal letter to OSA are contract for honorarium, payee's PIN, mechanics of competition, payee and ID. Payee ID. Okay. So for formal letter of OSA, for request of payment to students, we have a new rule this year. All income generating or all students that earn income is now taxable. So make sure that when you request payee named to student that rendered service to other groups na may bayad, make sure that the payee has a TIN so that we can withhold tax. Example of transaction for this are the user X transaction when they provide services to accredited orgs when they have contracts on making website. So from now on, make sure that when you submit to us a document, the payee or the student should have TIN. Next, please. Okay, this is the disbursement process. So, before that, can we go back, Mark? Sorry. Okay, let's go to reimbursement form. Reimbursement is the disbursement related to organizations' operational and project expenses for individual who shelled out their own funds. So ito yung mga nag-abono. So pwede naman kayo nang mag-submit ng reimbursement form ngayon. So fill out reimbursement form, and then I would like to request to make sure I would like to request na sana maayos yung pagkaka-order ng mga resibo na naka-attach sa reimbursement form kasi ngayong online medyo mahirap yung ating checking. So please put a reference number accordingly. Special request also for expenses with dollar rates. Kindly attach a summary with peso conversion rate. And then budget transfer. Budget transfer is for transactions. This is a letter used for our internal payments within Ateneo groups and offices. Example of this is during the donations to Ateneo Dream Team. Budget transfer is the simple process, the easiest process of releasing funds within Ateneo. Marami na kami nagawa. So, yung mga orgs na nag-donate to Ateneo Dream Team, the process of that is budget transfer only. Okay. Next, disbursement procedures. So, with that 3 forms of disbursements, ito yung procedure natin doon. So, first is fill out the correct form. So, you will assess what kind of transaction I have right now. So, based on what I mentioned kanina, you will identify if it is OC request form or if it is reimbursement form or a budget transfer. Now that we are online set up, an additional form is requested by CAO. This is the ADC form. What is ADC form? ADC form is the authorization for direct credit for bank transfer. The ADC form will also require 2 supporting documents, the ID of the payee, the ID of the bank owner, and the bank account proof. That's the step number 2. After filling out the form, now you will get the ADC form from the payee and then the supporting documents needed. Make sure that the bank account is valid by showing us the bank proof. Bank proof should show us the name and the bank account number of the bank account owner. Number 3, when you collect all of that, now you can send that na to OSA. The one I mentioned kanina, those are the attachments that you need to send it to osa.ls@ateneo.edu, CC org president and org moderator. By then, I can get it directly from our email, and if it is complete, I will check it and verify the documents. We need 2 weeks processing, 2 weeks working days to process your requests. Why? Because these are the offices that needs approval before we finally produce your request. In OSA, the 2 weeks process will start from me, from the OSA. OSA 1 is from me. I will be the originator of all your requests. All your submitted documents will be reviewed by me. If pasado na sa akin, I will endorse it to the OSA formator. That's the OSA 2. And then the OSA formator will review my work and then endorse it to the OSA director. And then now, after approval of the OSA director will forward it to the Associate Dean for Student Formation for his approval. There are transactions that are until only for the approval of ABSF. Those are the transactions amounting to 34,999 and below. If it is transactions 35,000 and above, it will need approval from the Vice President's office. That's why if your request is 45,000, your document will go to the OVPLS. The ADSF will endorse the paper to the OVPLS. And now, after the two offices, they will forward your documents to the Central Accounting Office for processing and for coordination with the bank. Now, after they got the documents approved, the COW will coordinate with bank, and the COW will notify the payee regarding the bank transfer. And then COW will require the payee to submit a soft copy of the receipt, and then that receipt from the payee, the original copy of that receipt will still be submitted to our office after this online setup when we return to our normal operations. In our tracker, kanina, as I mentioned, makikita nyo doon kung ano na yung mga na-process, nasaan na yung document nyo, ano na yung mga transactions na na-release na sa payee. Nakalagay naman doon yung date. Usually, when I receive the notification from the Central Accounting Office that the transaction has been transferred via bank transfer, I forward it to the finance officer for you to know that your request has been made. Unclaimed checks. Okay, ito yung mga tanong ng past officers that meron silang mga cheque na hindi na-claim or meron mga suppliers na hindi nabayaran pa because naipit during the lockdown. Now, these are our process. For unclaimed checks from school year 1920, you just need to email us to our OSA mail a letter addressed to COW. This is the complete name of addressee. Pakiusap lang, dahil online tayo, make sure that when you write a letter, proper formal letter format, proper spacing, don't forget the date of the letter, and then full name always ang ilalagay. So in this case, the letter is addressed to Mrs. Liberty P. Santos, the Director of the Central Accounting Office, noted by the OSA Director. As you notice, all the letters has endorsement, di ba? Endorsed by Org President, endorsed by OSA Formator, or endorsed by OSA Director. You take charge of the endorsement of Org President via sending the endorsement through the email ni Org President. With regard to the endorsement of OSA Formator and OSA Director, I will be the one responsible for it. Kasama na yon kapag nag-send ako ng request nyo sa kanila, dun na sila mag-i-endorse. So, no need to email that document to Formator. Meron na akong naranasan na nag-email sa akin, tapos nag-email pa siya sa Formator. So, please don't email it to any Formator. Just put their complete name on the letter that you send us. Then, I'll be the one to seek for their endorsement. Okay. For these unclaimed checks, there are possibilities that na-stale na yung cheque or kaya naman ipapakancel na lang yung cheque. So what is the process for that? Request for stale check update or request for cancellation of check. It's just a simple email telling us to update the stale check, get the details from the FB group, the check number, the check date, nandun naman lahat, and then write a letter addressed to COW and then email it to me. That's simple. Same with the cancellation letter. For canceled checks, we assure you that the fund for that check will be returned to your DCB account. Makikita nyo yun sa ledger nyo pag naibalik na. Okay. Let's talk about refunds. For refunds, the letter is addressed to OSA, addressed to the OSA Director, noted by Org President and OSA Formator. So here again, just put the name of Org President and OSA Formator. And again, the endorsement of Org President is via email endorsement. And then the OSA Formator's endorsement is through me. No need to email. There are two types of transactions in refunds. There are individual refund, meaning ako lang yan mag-isa, or i-refund ko sa supplier kasi hindi naman nagamit yung service, or request for refunds, meaning marami na involved na payees, various payees. Example nito yung hindi natuloy na activities na nagbayad sila ng fees and they want to refund. Okay? Magkaiba ang process natin doon. For individual refunds, just a letter to OSA, attached is the ADC form and the ID and the bank proof, and then the copy of the approved PPF, and then the ADMO OR. Why we need ADMO OR? Before we give refund, we need to make sure na nag-deposit kayo sa org ng pera bago tayo makapag-refund sa kanila. Okay? And then for the second process is for the refunds involving various payees. So this is the template that you will use. Paki-follow po yan. In that case, dahil marami, we will rely on you, finance officer, on checking the validity of the bank account. That's why you will request from them ADC form, ID, and bank proof. You will compile all of them, but you will not submit it to us. What will you submit to us are the summarized version. So make sure na walang mali because syempre pag nag-transfer na tayo ng pera sa bangko, sana hindi magkamali yung accounting. Okay. Org ledger. For org ledger, you can request your org ledger anytime. If you want to see the entire report, just email Ms. Tina at ckabudsan@ateneo.edu. But we will only give org ledger copy to finance officers or presidents. We will not allow or we will not give that to any member of the organization or to any officers. For org DCB balance, just give it to me. Just text me, I can give you the balance. But if you want the entire report, kay Ma'am Tina. Okay. Okay. For expanded withholding tax, this is very important when you request. What is expanded withholding tax? It's a tax prescribed on certain income payments and is creditable against the income tax due of the payee. Take note lang, kapag nagbabayad tayo sa suppliers at tinatax sila, hindi yon kalugihan ng supplier o ng taong tinatax natin. So, make sure that when they bill you, it is tax inclusive, meaning gross amount. So, when you transact with the suppliers, tell them that what you need is a gross amount because taxable ka mo. Itatax siya ng Ateneo. Bakit? Because Ateneo has an obligation to our government to help in getting tax from the suppliers na nagtatransact sa university. Expanded withholding tax ang tawag. Anyway, when they request naman for BIR Form 2307, they can request it from the Central Accounting Office. So don't worry about the tax that we charge from your suppliers or from the payees because that is their obligation for the income earned and magre-reflect naman yon sa kanilang mga income tax payment at the end of the year. We will provide the BIR Form 2307 if they needed it. Okay, what are the taxable amounts or what are the taxable transactions? These are the goods, services, rentals, professional fees, or royalties. These are the percentage. 1% for goods, 2% for services, 5% for rentals, professional fees, royalties. Okay. Example of goods. What are the goods that are taxable? These are the supplies, construction materials, meals from fast food chains, What are the services? These are the catering, accommodation, van services, shirt printing, photocopying, or TARPs. Sila yung mga nag-o-offer. For example, dyan, Intermatrix, so tinatax natin sila. Si St. Pio, tinatax natin. And for rental, we also tax house rental, lights and sounds rental, generator, tables rental, professional fees. So ito yung mga, dito mag-a-apply ngayon yung bagong ruling that even students na merong ina-earn na income is applicable na rin for the 10% professional fees tax. And then for theater orgs, royalties, 10% tax. Okay. Okay, these are the references where you can find our finance forms. Just go to bit.ly/OSA downloads. For detailed finance guide, nandun talaga yung written guidelines namin. Please go to Ateneo, to bit.ly/Ateneo LS-OSA, fill out finance forms. Yung nakapost doon sa aming guide are the processes during our normal operations. So please disregard na lang those information that is applicable for normal operations. This will be our revisions, so please refer to this one. Okay? Do not forget to follow us on social media. That's all.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Julie, for that step-by-step comprehensive process. No, ngayong online tayo kung paano ba gagalaw ang ating finance procedures. Alam naman natin nga, no, from the previous episode ng Meet the Fam na marami rin talagang nagtatanong, and in between, yung time in between, kung paano nga ba. And yun, no, narinig natin yung mga sagot ni Ma'am Julie para sa mga tanong na yan. But before we go to your live questions, which you can already write down on the comment section below, puntahan muna natin yung mga binigay ninyong mga katanungan during our pre-show survey. So let's try to, Ma'am Julie, baka we can address some of the questions na nandito sa pre-survey natin. Karamihan din naman na mga nasagot na rin. Ayun, siguro ang kailangan natin i-reiterate dito, Ma'am Julie, yung tungkol sa tax, di ba, ng professional services. Even for our students, no, kapag meron silang kinukuhang student volunteers na parang bibigyan nila ng fee, taxable na rin yun. Tama po, Ma'am Julie?
Yeah, that will be the new process for now, as
Yes.
discussed by the heads of the offices and declared by the nasa law daw kasi siya. So maybe Ma'am Tina can add on that. Can we request Ma'am Tina to please add on that?
Ayan, sige.
Ayan, hello.
Tawagin na natin si Ma'am Tina. Ayan, hi Ma'am Tina.
Siguro let's support na lang. Let's support the government. Kailangan ang lahat ng mga students na nag-render ng professional fees, kino-consider natin siyang professional fees kasi taxable at 10%. Since nakakuha kayo ng income, yes, you're still a student, pero since yung professional fee na nakuha nyo is beyond your capacity as a student, diba? And at the same time, hindi rin natin siya matatawag na student allowance for now because yung nature nung ginawa ninyong trabaho, say video editing, layouting, kung ano pa yun, kung sa normal na mga employees, it is taxable na by 10%. So, for cautious na rin, since meron na rin naman kayong teen, maski undergraduate, meron na rin teen dahil thank you, may office na nag-assist sa atin doon. Yes, it is taxable na by 10%. Unless, meron kasi pang ibang rule, unless magsasubmit pa kayo ng affidavit na hindi kayo dapat i-tax, pero it will, usap tayo sa ibang, ipa-discuss ko na lang kay Miss Julie next time. Pero yes, 10% siya.
Alright, thank you, Ma'am Tina. Yun nga, no, yun yung kailangan nating support na ibigay din no, sa ating gobyerno, sa BIR. Gawin natin
Yung kagad yung sagot ko, let's support the government.
Yes. Okay. Para po sa mga para po sa mga meron pang tanong, again, you can comment, you can write your questions on the comment section below. Ito, Ma'am Tina and Ma'am Julie, medyo nabanggit na rin ni Ma'am Julie ito kanina, pero maybe we can give even more assurance. Sabi dito, given that everything is now going to be conducted online, can OSA assure orgs that their org finances will not be made visible to others outside the org? Diba, nabanggit nito Ma'am Julie na meron lang piling tao na pwedeng maka-access ng org finances. Sino-sino ulit ito, Ma'am Julie?
Yes, we will provide only information to org president and org finance officer. That is also the reason why I cannot process any document without the endorsement of the two officers. Okay? So, control yon. So, hindi ako mag-entertain ng request ng sino man na member or kung sino man o kahit ni finance officer alone or ni president alone. There is always an endorsement of the top two officers. Also, on the link that we gave last May, where you put all your reports, there is an instruction there that you hide your folder so that hindi siya makita ng ibang organization. So please read the instruction properly. So kaya hindi naman siya accessible ng ibang org, only OSA can view it.
Ayan. And also, kailangan din yung nakasisi yung moderator nila, di ba, Ma'am Julie? Para rin makita natin na endorse na rin ito ng kanilang moderator.
Yeah, the reporting part, dun tayo hihingi ng endorsement ng moderator. Yun yung year-end report, yun yung budget proposal, yun yung kailangan ng endorsement ng moderator. Na pwede rin nilang ibigay yung endorsement nila via email endorsement kasi we had parang memo na digital signature is not encouraged these online transactions. So, for all the endorsement needed is via email.
Yeah.
So,
at kaya mahalaga.
Email naman, yes, mahalaga.
And mahalaga rin, Ma'am Julie, yung paggamit nila ng kanilang official or OBF email, di ba?
Isa pa kasi nakakalito, syempre wala tayong face-to-face. Hindi namin kayo kilala personally ngayon. By name lang. So pag nag-email minsan sa dami ng pasok ng documents, hindi ko siya makita agad sino nga yung nag-email. So for easy identification also, it is very helpful na org OBF accounts yung gamit.
Yeah. Sige, may nakita na tayong isang question, Ma'am Julie, from Ayan, from Samantha. Sabi niya, what will happen if the person we're contracting does not have a team or does not know their team? How will taxing them be possible?
Ma'am Tina, please.
Okay. Sam, kapag professional fee, automatic dapat may TIN. Parang it's a general rule na pag nag-render ng professional fee, kailangan ng TIN. Yun, kahit student siya even kahit undergrad student, makikita rin naman natin sa amount at saka sa nature ng kanyang ginawang service. Beyond professional fee, kung ano pa yung iba ninyong babayaran, person, so ang tingin ko hindi siya company, hindi ba? So kung company naman, we should always transact with companies who have valid BIR documents. So kasama doon yung na meron siya dapat TIN.
Alright, Ma'am Tina, thank
Sagot
you.
ko ba yun? Yeah.
Kasi yun ang kung dahil nga may kailangan ng i-tax, so kailangan na rin talagang kumuha ng TIN. So siguro,
possible naman siya that every student can have their tin, pwede nang mag-apply.
kaya encouragement na rin ito, Ma'am Tina, no,
Yes,
for students
yes.
to get their own tax
Ako,
identification.
personally, ako parang second year, well, sa bagay, naman kasi, first year, second year college, parang ganun, nag-apply na ako online, yeah.
Ayan. Alright. Thank you, Ma'am Tina and Ma'am Julie. Another question, and meron tayo isa pang question from Noel. I would like to ask lang po, kung kailan ang disbursement ng COA subsidy grant last semester?
Okay.
And with us, we have our COA M, our repeating COA M Finance Officer, Mr. Nixon Ko. Nixon?
Hello. It was already processed, so it's really dependent on when it will be released na lang, reflected on your letter. But from what I know, it's already approved.
Yeah.
Ayan, si Ma'am Julie, may lalagay.
Okay, let's define the subsidies, no? There are orgs with subsidy from OSA from previous school year, 1920. So what you will do for those orgs with approved subsidy from school year 1920 from OSA, you write a letter to us requesting for transfer of that approved subsidy with proof of expenses. For COA subsidy, we are just awaiting for the final approval of the remaining funds of the COA so that we can process the budget transfer submitted by Nixon and PIP for your approved subsidies last year. Isang bagsak na lang yon. So the letter is with me. I'm just waiting for the final approval. We will inform all organizations via FB group if we already transferred the approved amount.
Ayan, thank you, Ma'am Julie. Pero linawin na natin, Ma'am Julie, no, yung nabanggit natin. So yun yung mga subsidies, spending subsidies na naiwan from school year 2019-2020.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about subsidy requests
No.
for the incoming
Suspended.
school year,
It's
suspended
suspended.
na.
Yes.
Ayan. Sige. Ayan. Another question. How are orgs going to be taxed? How is taxation going to be conducted in general by Ateneo, or is this out of Ateneo's extent of responsibility? Maybe our director then, Sir Tats, can also chime in on the question.
Hello, guys. Okay, so let's clarify the student organizations who will be rendering professional services. So these are organizations who appointed certain individuals, members, who are deployed to particular clients, and the clients are contracting them for professional services. For example, website making or photography or maybe yung sabi ni Tina kanina, video editing. So in cases where the org engages with a client outside and the client treats it as a professional service, and so therefore the clients pay the organizations, and therefore the organizations also provide payment to those members of the team who handled providing the service to the client. Those students who were part of the team will have to submit their TIN because it's a professional service. The assumption is everything that students do in organization is part of our formation program. It's part of co-curricular activities. In other words, you join an organization because you want to have more experiences and you want to be able to practice in the real world. But also, while it's a learning experience, while we have a lot of activities in our organizations that allow us to enrich ourselves, there are also instances where our expertise are needed and we get to be paid for such expertise and it treated as professionals in the service that we do. Now, the government, by law, is asking us whenever we provide professional services, it has to be taxed because it is a professional service. So on the question of will the how will orgs be taxed? The orgs will not be taxed, but the persons rendering the personal service as members of the organization, they will have to submit a TIN number. Although, in our experience in the past, there were organizations who isang tao, the company pay the organization, and the organization submits the tin of the project head, or the team head who handled the program, and the tax will go, the tin will be of the project head, and then as soon as the money is paid to the organization, that money, the already taxed money using the tin of the project head, is distributed equally to all the members of the team. So, in other words, it's treated as one team, uh, the work of one team with the tin of the project head, and then whatever is the taxed already money is what is distributed to the rest of the team members. Okay, so okay, sorry for that. Um, I'm in the hospital. I'm in quarantine. So, okay. But I hope that clarifies things. How is taxation going to be conducted in General Ateneo, or is this out of Ateneo's extent of responsibility? We are implementing the law. Maybe you're asking, why are we doing this now? We have been asked several times on why aren't we doing this already, and I think Ma'am Tina can also share that in the past, tinatanong na rin how are orgs accepting professional services and clients without being taxed, when everything now, if you're rendering professional services, may tax talaga. So we are trying to be compliant with our laws, and not to be disrespectful of the laws of the land about it. So, yeah, sorry, I'm in quarantine. May mga, I'm in the hospital.
All right. Thank you, sir. That's for the clarifications. No. Yun. So right now we're just kumbaga we're just following yung mga kailangan nating sundin, i-implement even with student organization activities. All right. Another question. Yeah, we have another question. Do we still need to provide the sponsorship IDs of sponsors? If it's a new sponsor, where do we ask for the ID?
Okay. Okay, you will just email Ma'am Tina about it, because the ID of sponsors came from the Central Accounting Office. It's just a number. Ma'am Tina?
Nire-require ba? May nag-experience ba sa yung mga orgs ngayon?
Yes, kapag magde-deposit sa cashier, they
Ng
require
sponsorship ID.
Yes.
During lockdown? I mean
Wala
during
pa
this time?
wala pa ngayong request ako nare-receive this
Oo.
time. Pero in normal operations, the cashier's office will not accept sponsorship deposit if walang ID.
Oo, sige, i-clear ko rin with the Bursar's office kung required ba talaga pa siya during this time, or baka pwede nating i-waive muna yon para tuloy-tuloy yung pagpapa-OR. Because yung pag-confirm pa lang ng deposit, mahirap na nagbabulk siya sa part ng accounting. So, tingnan natin kung pwedeng ma-waive muna for now. Okay. Pwedeng mag-segue pa sa tin. Kasi parang
Sige,
feeling ko
ma'am.
medyo
Sige, Ma'am Tina.
medyo sensitive yung topic nung tin and tax. Siguro guys, ganito, yung tin ninyo, kung mag-a-apply kayo, even an undergrad, hindi ko alam sa Ateneo, parang 4th year. Buti nga sa Ateneo, di ba, pinupuntahan pa kayo ng BIR. So, yeah, we encourage you na magpa-register at mag-apply ng TIN. Kasi yung TIN ninyo, isang beses lang kayo mag-apply, yun na yung TIN nyo for the rest of your career life. So, magagamit nyo na siya. As to the taxation, I hope it's clear, di ba, na we not just helping the government, we are also protecting ADMO. Kasi baka mamaya ma-audit tayo sa mga ganito na ba't ang dami yung student allowances. Before, puro student allowances yan. The reason behind it is, dahil nga mga undergraduate students pa kayo, di ba? So, ano lang dito is, baka pag na-audit tayo, kasi ang ADMO is a tax-exempt entity. Wala tayong income tax na binabayaran. So, yung tulong natin sa government is, we are one of the top and largest taxpayer ng Pilipinas. So yung tulong natin is talagang makapag-withhold tayo ng tax sa mga suppliers natin. And even you as students, consider na rin kayong supplier ng Ateneo. Okay? Siguro may isi-share ako tungkol kung hindi, pero kasi mangyayari yon kapag wala ng quarantine, pwede naman kayong mag-apply sa BIR ng affidavit na hindi kayo kumikita ng 720,000 a year para 5,000 lang, 5,000, sorry. Hindi kayo kumikita ng 720,000 a year para ang tax ninyo ay 5% lang. Okay? Yun. Tsaka na natin pag-usapan yun. Pero ngayon kasi naka GCQ pa tayo. So, hindi ko pa rin kayo i-advise na lumabas. So, yun. Sana. At saka, unknowingly, nagbabayad tayo lahat ng tax, di ba? Bumibili kayo sa grocery, may tax. Di ba? Nagko-contribute kayo. So, yung way nung pag-withheld sa inyo ng tax, contribution nyo na rin yun.
Ayan, thank you po for the clarifications, Ma'am Tina. Siguro we have time for siguro mga 2 to 3 last 2 to 3 questions. So, kung hindi po natin masasagot ang mga iba pang tanong, we have one of our formators from OSA, Susan Casino, helping us answer the questions, some of the questions on the comments section below. Sige, dun tayo sa next clarification daw from Samantha again. For fundraising activities or donation drives, where will these people deposit their money? So, Ma'am Julie, tungkol ito dun sa pag-deposit ng donations. Saan daw ang paano ulit yung process?
Okay. For COVID-19 donation drives, right? If it is for
so.
COVID, for donation drives during this pandemic crisis, if you have collected fees and you have right now cash on hand, you can deposit it to your DCB account, and then we can disburse donation to the foundation or kung kanino nyo gustong ibigay yung donation via bank transfer through Ateneo. But for those who initiated donations using GCash, we advise na sa inyo na muna yung pera kasi sa ngayon wala pang sistema yung school on GCash payment. Okay?
Alright.
So all donation drives, sana pumasok pa rin sa DCB, or kung currently you are collecting money, what you can do is, if you have money from your DCB account and you want to donate 20,000 to this area or to that foundation, you can start to do it na, and then make sure lang na marireplenish nyo yung money using that drive. I mean, nagko-collect pa lang kayo, you are assuming na merong magbibigay, pero gusto nyo na rin magbigay ng pera at meron namang available ang DCB account nyo, pwede naman kayong gumamit muna noon. Basta lang mapalitan nung perang kinolect nyo from donation.
Alright, thank you, Ma'am Julie.
Okay. To add pala niya, sorry, for donations, wala tayong problem if the chosen foundation or group are official NGO, that would mean meron silang OR. Wala yung problema. Just a letter, and then we will request for budget, for bank transfer for that foundation. Nagkakaroon tayo ngayon ng mga transactions concerning na non-official NGO yung groups, meaning yung mga donation drives galing sa FB, for example, yung One Smile PH, yung mga grupo na nakikita natin sa Facebook na nag-i-initiate ng COVID donation drives, most of them has no bank account, meaning no bank account owned by a company or foundation itself. So sa company representative siya ipapangalan. When I consulted our director about it, okay lang naman yon. We can donate pa rin to them as long as you can ask from them an acknowledgement receipt and then a certification of donation, as well as supporting document, proof of their legitimacy. I mean, magpapatunay na document na sila ay talagang grupo na nangangasiwa ng pagtulong related sa COVID-19. So, ganun po siya.
All right, thank you, Ma'am Julie. And siguro, perhaps the last question that we can answer on this Meet the Fam live is from Marvin. What are the procedures that are applicable to Lions organizations and for our League of Independent Organizations? Perhaps we can again call on Sir Tats, Quiblat,
Hi
to
guys.
answer this question.
Thank you, Neil. Okay, for Lions organizations, I think the main point there is Lions organizations don't have a DCB account yet, and for us to be able to assist the Lions organizations in every transaction, we will be dealing with it on a per transaction basis because different transactions will have to have different types of responses. So as long as you let us know, please don't be limited in what kind of transactions you want to do. Just approach Sir Rem or any of our formators about your questions, how to process certain transactions, and we will gladly assist you with it. Especially that there might be a different process for processing your transactions, given that there's no existing DCB where you can directly deposit. But in the past, we have assisted a lot of Lions organizations with their transactions, and there haven't been any major challenges and struggles. It's just that it requires more attention on how we're going to deal with it. But know that we will assist you every step of the way. We just want to know what kind of transactions you want to do. Will it be depositing a sponsorship? Will it be seeking for a reimbursement, or will it be asking for donations, etc.? Let us know, and we will take on your process on a per transaction basis. So there shouldn't be any problem. Just approach primarily Sir Rem or any of the formators.
All right, thank you, sir. That's and speaking of like Lions finance procedures, maybe perhaps our Sangguniang president can also chime in on the question. Is JB, Mr. JB Garin still around? And
Yes, Sir Neil.
hi,
Hello,
JB.
Marvin, and hello to all our Lions Orgs members who are here in this Meet the Fam. So, for any questions with regards to Lion subsidies, especially that it's integrated to Sangguniang system, please feel free to inform them to Tina Batalla, who's currently the Lions coordinating head. So, we look forward to continuing to work with Lions, especially in making sure that student activities life is nourishing, especially in Lions, this coming intersession, this coming first semester. So recently, yung na-pass sa Central Assembly, which is Sangguni's legislation arm, was the budget for the second semester from last school year. So some of the approved expenditures from Lions Orgs there were yung pending na expenses from last semester. So hopefully when we start this new budget cycle, we can continue to be consultative, especially kung ano pa yung vision ng Lions Orgs for their student activities this coming first sem of the new school year, even if we're online.
All right. Thank you, JB, for that. At yun lang, no, para sa ating Lions organizations, you can always approach the Sanggunian for any questions. So, and of course, in coordination with Ms. Tina Batalla, your coordinating head. All right. For all the other questions na hindi po natin o hindi po namin nasagot this episode, just type them down on the comment section and we will try our best no, to answer all your questions via private message na lang siguro. But, itanong nyo lang, pag-comment lang kayo. And we will release a memo on donations to clarify. So we will post those memos and other announcements on the OSA online portal, which we will be releasing very, very soon. Maraming salamat sa ating Budget and Finance Officer, Ma'am Julie Manalang, for presenting again finance procedures and to all our panelists. Now, just to close everything, to bring everything to a proper closure, we will hear a few words from our coordinator for SOAR and one of the OSA coordinators, Mr. Aaron Silyongtay. Hi,
Okay.
Aaron.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Sir Neil. Hello, everyone watching. And again, thank you for tuning into our second Meet the Fam for finance procedures. Anyway, ang dami ng details na nasabi and I won't go through them one by one. We will be posting this material anyway for your review should you have any further questions or clarifications. And in this, these are changing times. And with changing times, we changed two major things. First, we changed a lot of our processes. As Ma'am Julie has explained a while ago, a lot of our processes, our systems have changed, and it can be overwhelming. Also, with the changes in the processes, there are a lot of changes in priorities as well. As you've noticed, we had to adapt to the many changes that, whether it be government changes or environmental changes or policy changes, we had to adapt to it. Anyway, just three final points. First is patience, not just with the procedures, but also with ourselves. I think my main point here is that we're all still learning. This is an entirely new world, an entirely new field for all of us. And it's important to be patient with ourselves, to be able to realize that we have to learn every step of the way and that we are here to help you, to collaborate with you. Second is, as Sir Tats a while ago already mentioned, is to not be afraid to experiment, to be creative, to be innovative with your projects and your processes, especially in this uncertain time. It's these are also limitations. We have a lot of limitations, but I hope that we get to see them as challenges for us to be creative, to always just go back to our why, to our visions, and to be able to, if needed, revise our protocols, our procedures in order to still fulfill the vision that is there for our organization. And lastly, as you've noticed, we've done a lot of efforts to reach out to you guys. So we hope that you are also not afraid to ask for help. I mentioned a while ago I was in a Rec Week meeting with the Rec Week heads, and I told them that in this uncertain time, in this time when we don't know what's going to happen, even in the next 24 hours, it's important that we ask for help, that we collaborate with one another, that we don't just see ourselves as presidents or as finance officers, but as partners for change. Partners, yung hashtag nga namin sa office always is hashtag partners information. So aside from us, your formators, your OSA family, the entire student activities community is with you. COA is there, Alliance is there, and the entire university is with you. As again, we are all still learning, and I hope that we get to learn together. So again, just help us transform and help us to fulfill our goals in the university and our goals as one entire student activities community. Thank you, and tune into our next Meet the Fam.
All right. Thank you, Sir Aaron. Patience, creativity, and the courage to ask for help. Now, as we all learn and navigate our way through these changing times together. No? Yun naman talaga ang message ng OSA, message ng OA, and message ng Samihan to all our student leaders and student organizations that we are all in this together. And of course, speaking of being together, thank you to all our panelists who were with us this afternoon. Again, we have Secretary President GVLE, we have COA and Finance Officer, Mr. Nixon, we have the Assistant Associate for Supervision, Mr. Casey Capuno. We also have Ms. Tina Kabudsan, our representative from the Central Accounting Office. Yan, maraming salamat po sa pagsama sa atin o sa amin ngayong hapon ito.
Thank
And
you.
again,
Thank
if you,
Thank you po.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, if you were not able to watch with us and to hear the presentation with us this afternoon, you can always watch it again and share the video. It's uploaded on our OSA YouTube channel at bit.ly/Ateneo OSA YT. And announcements lang, a copy of the slides will be emailed to you, student leaders, together with the slides of our previous episode, yung student activities in the time of COVID-19. Ayan, nakita niyo po, next episode, next week, it's Meet the Fam, OSA portal. We will be unveiling, we will be launching our OSA online portal para sa inyong lahat. So sana abangan po ninyo. Again, this is your OSA fam from the Office of Student Activities. I am Neil Reyes, together with all the OSA formators and our director, Sir Tats Quiblat, saying good afternoon. Thank you to everyone who were with us this afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe. Ingat kayo. Thank you.
Gusto ko kumanta ng Korea.